All of this as the U.S. is ramping up its efforts to curb the Chinese technology industry with the arrest of Huawei's chief financial officer, Sabrina Meng. Now, Meng is expected to appear in a court later today in Canada for her bail hearing. Joining us right now is House Financial Services Committee Chairman, Texas Congressman Jeb Hensarling. Congressman, thanks for joining the conversation. Good to see you. Your reaction to what's happening between the U.S. and China. How do you think the U.S. is going to get China to change its behavior in terms of all of this theft of intellectual property over the decades, the forced transfer of technology, and the unwillingness to open its markets?
Well, fortunately, the president has already signed into law a modernization of what we call the CFIUS Act, which has to do with foreign direct investment in the U.S. and including export controls. It was the first major rewrite of this bill in over a decade, and frankly, it came through the House Financial Services Committee. My colleague Robert Pittenger of North Carolina was the real leader on it. And I think that we have it carefully calibrated, and I think that it will go, frankly, it is the proper tool to be used in this fight, much more so than the very blunt instrument of any type of trade war with China. So it's clear that, frankly, not just for years, but for decades, I think the U.S. has turned a blind eye to the wholesale theft of our intellectual property and our technology. But the update of this CFIUS law, which in congressional parlance is known as FIRMA, Foreign Investment Reform and Modernization Act, I think is the right tool. Now, the rules are just now being written under the legislation by the Trump administration. Treasury is writing those rules now. But I think that is kind of a new offensive weapon to be used in the right one.
All right. Let me switch gears and ask you about this upcoming spending deadline. Then I want to get the panel in, because we know that you're doing a continuing resolution, obviously after President Bush passed. But are you going to be able to get the money that the president is looking for the wall? And do you think a spending plan passes with this continuing resolution in the next week?
Well, I'm gratified to answer rapidly and confidently and say I don't know. So, unfortunately, it comes down to the point in a Congress where about 4 people, all of which are above my pay grade, ultimately make this decision. So I am interested to see that, yet again, Nancy Pelosi seems to be more interested in making an issue than in making an agreement. Frankly, I thought in the president's last State of the Union, he was incredibly generous to the Democrats in his offer. And it makes sense that if we're going to do something with DACA, that we also have to, you know, there is a legitimate problem there, and there is a legitimate human need that has to be met. But at the same time, we can't do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result, and not call it insanity, and that is not secure our border. So I'm hoping that smarter, cooler heads will prevail here. But frankly, how it all ends, I don't quite know. So anyway, I once spent New Year's Eve with my colleagues. I hope I don't spend Christmas Eve with my colleagues.
Guy, I know you've been covering this a lot. But let's just run what Nancy Pelosi said yesterday, because the minority leader is taking a hard line when it comes to any funding of a border wall. Watch this.
It depends on how you spend the money. It's border security. It's about border security. Speaking for myself, consider the wall immoral, ineffective, inexpensive. And the president said he promised it. He also promised Mexico would pay for it. So even if they did, it's immoral still, and they're not going to pay for it. So that isn't how I would interpret a continuing resolution. We have a responsibility, all of us, to secure our borders.
I don't understand why she could say we have a responsibility to secure the borders, but a wall is immoral.
Yes,
what is immoral about a wall?
That beats me. You'd have to ask her.
The Department of Homeland Security said border arrests reached a new high for the Trump presidency last month, by the way.
Got to secure the border. But with a wall, no, we can't do that. That's immoral. Congressman, my question is, when we look at this whole funding situation, I know the appropriations process has been less dysfunctional this year than it has in the past. Yeah. That's the good news. The potential bad news is, once again, a Christmas-era deadline where there's people negotiating behind closed doors and jamming a bunch of stuff into a giant omnibus spending bill, and then cramming it down, saying you better vote for this or everything's going to fall apart, and it's Christmas anyhow. It just, a lot of us who believe in good, transparent, limited government are concerned when this sort of thing happens.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Well, number one, as you well point out, 5 of the 12 appropriations bills have been passed. I don't know how many years it's been since that has happened. So we haven't quite achieved success, but the trajectory is in the right direction. And yes, this needs to be an open and transparent process. Frankly, in the 16 years that I've been a member of Congress, I have been trying to reform a budget process system. I know Speaker Ryan has as well. The system we have, frankly, dates back to 1974 in the post-Watergate era. It is broken. It does not work. And unfortunately, this is one that continues to elude us to change this particular process. But I will say this, at the end of the day, it is Congress. It is Congress that has the Article 1, Section 9 authority of power of the purse. And it's not always how much money you spend, it's how you spend the money that's important. And, you know, you brought up Nancy Pelosi as saying, well, it's immoral to put a wall there. What's immoral about it in her mind is that President Donald Trump suggested it. And I think if it was called a border fence, a border security measure, I mean, it's just simply become symbolism now in the body politic, which is unfortunate. But the bottom line is unchecked, illegal immigration is a threat to our national security, economic security, and quite importantly, the rule of law as well, a foundational principle here in America.